In today's video, we are going to be playing against top of the table West Bromwich Albion, who after 17 games have not necessarily nailed down that position, but they're certainly looking pretty up there. We're then going to be having a home game against Fulham, who are one of the more disappointing teams in the season. They're in the Premier League 3 seasons ago, but they're currently languishing in 17th, not really looking like they've got much of a clue. Us, however, just outside the playoff spots. It's looking pretty good so far. How you doing? Welcome to the channel. My name is Stu and welcome to the My Career series here on Football Manager. Thank you for joining me in today's video. It is part number 11 of Club 2 here at Charlton. Of course, we started the save at Spennymoor. This is the second club. The clue was in the name. And today we're going to be playing those 2 games and seeing whether we can carry on building ourselves up to being a bit of a legendary manager. That's the plan anyway. It might go horribly wrong, but if you're excited to see how we get on in those aforementioned games today, then why don't you leave a like on the video for me? It'd be a nice thing to do. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up with all of the nonsense that's coming out of this face right here. You might notice the camera, it's no longer over on this side, it's now on that side. Reason being, I fancy the change. There's not really a reason for it, I just fancy doing it. It does now mean, however, that I think I might be in the way of Fulham because I'm now in the way of them on the table. There they are, Fulham there. So that's the second game of the video. Today we're going to be playing against them at home. First game against West Brom is an away game, but we're going to have a go with it anyway and see what we can do. Now, since you were last with us, I can't remember the actual last game. I think it was Millwall and Stockport. Now, I was going to come back around here, but I got to this game and I thought, you know what, let's play a team who are good. Because Millwall and Stockport not doing necessarily the best. As much of a layup as it could possibly be with 2 easy games, so I thought let's have a bit of a challenge today. West Brom, definitely going to be that. Admittedly, I didn't check where Fulham was when I said that it would be a bit more of a challenge. But do you know what? We're just going to go for it anyway, because why the devil not? But that is how we are doing in the table. 7th place. I'll take that. I'll take that all day long. 9 wins, 4 draws, 4 losses. In terms of like goals for and against, we've got the 3rd best goals conceded. So our defence is pretty good going, and the 8th best goals scored. We are almost the king of the naughty boys club though. 5th worst on red cards, 4th worst on yellow cards. We're just hacking people, but it seems to be working. So hack them, we will continue to do. I'll give you a quick rundown over the profile and just see whether we've got any players on there, because I've not checked here in a while. I do fancy having a look. We are coming up against top goal scorer of the league, Daryl Dyke, today, but he is actually in a miserable mood because he's asked to leave. I don't know the reason why, but he wants to. But look at the amount of money that 27-year-old American is worth. If I can actually hover on the thing properly, 31 to 38 million pounds. We don't have that, so I can't buy him even if I wanted to, which I don't necessarily think I want to, but I couldn't if I wanted to. We've got no players on anything other than Shahar on player of the matches. He has been a machine, to be fair. He's got to be on this list with 5, but I tell you what, Isaiah Jones at Middlesbrough, what a season that I was going to say young man, that man, he's a full-grown adult. What a season that man is having. I'm waffling. Let's get to the game. This is the 11 that we are going to be using to hopefully get points off of West Brom, but I'm not expecting it because, you know, they're the best team in the league. It is going to be Iverson in goal, Shahar, Hall, Watts and McCallum in defence. Then Wiradou, Piccolo, Busquets and Azaz in the midfield with Sims, who's come back from injury, and Phillips up front. I've had a bit of a tinker with roles just to see if certain aspects of the team that weren't doing very well can be improved upon. The biggest one I was looking at was trying to get Josh Phillips to score a few more. I changed him to a poacher and he was getting in some fantastic positions. And he was scoring, but he was also missing quite a few as well. So what I've done is I've put him on advance forward, replicated the player instructions, but I put him on shoot less often in the hope that he's not going to miss quite as many. Might work, might not. Probably won't. Anthony Scully also had one really good game and has gone back to being absolutely bang average at this level. He is not a championship player. Ellis Sims is. We just need him to have a few more games and get back to fitness. He did play in a friendly before this game just to try and get him there. And I've decided to play him after one friendly today against the top of the league away from home. Because that's the thing you do, right? You watch, you'll score 2 goals or get a hat-trick or something stupid now. But anyway, yeah, so I've tried a little bit with Phillips. I've messed about with some of the midfielders as well. And do you know what? Just slap me and call me a tactical genius, because I did actually just slap myself. Why did I do that on camera? Josh Phillips has gone and scored in one of the first games since I've made that change. And you know what? Sims has got the assist as well. So, I mean, the two things that I was just kind of questioning that I've done have ended up being very good tactical decisions. It's almost like I know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. But it's almost like I know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. But we lead against the league leaders, which is a very nice feeling. We've got a good team. We really have. But then we questioned, didn't we? We questioned the manager who was here before us. We knew this team was better than what it was performing in League One and should have probably been promoted before we got it promoted and should have had the easier way than the playoffs that we had to go through. We knew all of that. We know the players that we've added as well are good players and are good for this level for the most part. We also know that there are some players who are kind of relying on their form, carrying them past what their actual ability is. We also know that we're very easily beatable by a good team because Kwame has just run through us there as if our defence was made of tissue paper. It's not. I'd actually say that there are some very strong elements of it. Admittedly, the attack started on the left side, which I'd probably argue is probably the weakest part of our defence. They found the weakness very quickly there. The right side of the defence, rock solid, he says. Touch wood. The next goals are going to come from there now. But you know what? After 27 minutes, if you'd told me it'd be 1-1, I'd take that. I'd take that all day long. Match momentum-wise is the stuff of nightmares up until that happens. But we are starting to get back into it. But the highlight that next comes is for them. Although we do get the ball straight away, which is lovely. Right, McCallum. Looking to get the ball forward. Gets it to Busquets. Busquets now. Looking to find the pass. Goes to Wiradou. Wiradou. Here's another one we've been messing around with the roll-off. Piccolo floating over to Sims. And Sims manages to hit the post. Because as soon as I set up that we're going to score, we're not going to score. I can't remember whether it was on camera, but Piccolo recently has been a bit of a dynamo. He really has. We'll have a look at him after the game if I remember, which means I won't. But we'll try to remember because he has been in some scintillating form recently. Finn has, by the way, has just gone and put us back ahead. What a goal that is. Didn't impress me in the first couple of games. I was a bit disappointed with him, but he is starting to really come into his own. He's had the odd, I don't know about knock here or there. He's had the odd game where he's had to miss due to, like, I don't know, he had a cold. I've got to go into work when I've got a cold. Apparently he can go home. I'm just putting it out there. But he's come good today. I don't know why I'm having to go at the poor man when he's just put us ahead. Ellie Sims, by the way, 2 assists in the game. I'm very, very happy with his work so far. Very happy indeed. Would I still rather have Miles Lieburn? Maybe. Maybe. I desperately want to try and get him on loan in the winter transfer window because Lieburn is not playing for Sheffield United and he's growing distant from his teammates. So I'm hoping that maybe we can just go in and play it. Just put some kind of feelers out there to make him want to come to us and make them want to let him go. But yeah, I'll have a quick look at Piccolo because Piccolo actually, I mean, he's got 6 goals, 3 assists. He's doing pretty well. Look at form-wise. This little run of games here from, where was it? Millwall and Stockport. We know he played well there, but since then, the friendly is the only game he's not had the goal involvement. Admittedly, it's only been like 4 games or 3 games. But, like, goal assist, goal, scored a banging free kick or 2 as well. Like, he is genuinely an incredible player. Watch him get injured now. I'm singing his praises. You watch. He's going to get injured now. And I'm going to be absolutely distraught by it because he's finally getting some consistent, like, level of good performances that he's hitting. We've managed to demotivate Sam McCallum, who hasn't been playing well. I'm hoping that won't happen with Busquets. It didn't happen with Busquets. Sam McCallum's just going to have to get over it, quite frankly. I'm actually going to demand more from him here as well because you know what? He's not playing well, and you could argue maybe he was at fault for the goal we conceded. It's probably a bit harsh, but I'm going to push that narrative just to try and make him realise he's got to play a bit better. A little bit concerned about Shahar's low fitness. We have been playing him an awful lot, though, because he is our only properly natural right-back at the club. We do have other options available, which we are now going to use, actually. I'm actually going to bring on Jamie Shackleton because I've actually left Edmonds Green off the squad, which is a bit of an oversight on my part, considering he's our backup right-back and also our backup defensive midfielder. Kind of like Jamie Shackleton, actually. They're both very similar players in terms of what I actually do with them. Jamie Shackleton can go to full-back on attack. We'll let him do that. I was actually considering taking off Wiradou. And you know what? I still will, because Greg Doherty has been complaining about not playing. I'm going to put him on the pitch so he can play. Sam McCallum I would like to take off as well, but there is a minor lack of options there, so I'm going to keep him on for lack of a better option. Ellie Sims, as good as he's playing, is tiring. But I'm going to keep him on the pitch just because I would rather have the goal threat there for a little bit longer. And then when it gets to 10 minutes before, at that point, we'll consider taking him off and giving him a wee bit of a break. Feels like the smart thing to do. Right, to corner to Baggies. Baggies whipping it in, looking for the header Dyke. Clearing it out there, only as far as Kerrigan, though. Kerrigan looking for the cross. Jamie Shackleton, I tell you what. He's done very well there as Jamie. Very well. Get it to Sims, back to Jamie Shackleton. Heavy touch. I mean, he did very, very well there. And then when he gets the ball back, not only does he give the ball away easily, he's completely out of position. And there's Darryl Dyke, top goal scorer in the league, making it 2-2. I sang Jamie's praises as well. Gives the ball away there. Delcroix chips it over. Jamie's nowhere near. I mean, admittedly, I've put him on attack as a fullback, but I still expect him to be relatively defensively conscious, and he wasn't there whatsoever. And we've gone from having, I'm going to go as far as to say a famous win. It is only Charlton versus West Brom, but it's still a big win in the context of this season, which has now disappeared because of Jamie's mistake. And I will put it down to Jamie as well. Admittedly, did Ellie Sims need to give him the ball? Probably not. So I am going to take Ellie Sims off now, and Scully will come on to try and run the other team into the ground. Busquets is tiring as well. Henry's going to come on for him. And I'm going to leave it at that. We have got one more sub left. I'll hold on to it just in case. But we'll go with that, and we'll just see whether we can. I'm happy to see the game out from this point, although we have been all over them all game. It's actually the one game where our possession is under 50%. But in terms of all of the attacking stats like shooting and XG, all that kind of stuff, match momentum as well, we are all over them. But Scully could have had a chance there, but he might have a chance. It's a penalty. Within minutes of coming on, Scully's won a penalty. And we have a chance to go ahead again here. Scully steps up and makes me eat my words about him not being a championship player. I mean, he's taken a penalty. He's still probably not a championship player. But he's actually gone and scored a goal, which might give us a win over the league leaders and propel us into the playoff places. Back-to-back promotions, anyone? Hello? No, we don't want that. We don't want that. We'll get ripped apart in the Premier League. We don't want that. Unless I can get... I'm already thinking about moving jobs here. I was going to say, unless I can get, kind of like last year when we did MyCareer, if on the way to promotion, we can get a job in the Premier League, and as we get promoted, move to there, and then not be here for the season that would be the demolition of the club in the Premier League. That does feel like chickening out of the challenge of taking this club to the Premier League. And I did very much chicken out of that with Tranmere last season by going to Southampton. We did then win the Premier League with Southampton, of course. Spoilers for that save. Go and watch it. It was a lot of fun. But, yeah. We'll cross bridges when we get to them. We don't need to be thinking about crossing them just yet. But we've done very, very well there to get a win against top of the league. It hasn't actually put us into the playoff places just yet. We're still 1 point off. These positions have shifted around a little bit. So it's not going to be something that happens before the next game against Fulham. Fulham, by the way, definitely have not done very well in their last game. Let's have a look at their schedule. So they're currently on a two-game losing streak. I mean, it's not much of a streak if it's only 2 games, but they're actually on a 5-game winless streak. Stockport, they drew against them. Hull, they lost against them. They drew against the Baggies. Baggies, actually, to be fair, recently not doing the best in that case. And then back-to-back losses against Sheffield Wednesday and Sunderland. So we're looking to pile on some misery to Fulham after what I think is a pretty big win for us in this league. So let's try and take the momentum and go and beat Fulham. So we are back for the game against Fulham, and there's a couple of interesting wrinkles about this game that might make it a bit more of a challenge than we were potentially expecting. But this is going to be the 11 that we're going to go into it with. It's an unchanged 11 other than one. Doherty's come in, and we have got Wiradoo on the bench. That's the only change. Everything else is unchanged from the last 11. I won't go through it again. There's not really much point. But there are a couple of wrinkles in this game that I do want to bring up. I'm going to wait for the screen to change over to bring the first one up, which is the manager of Fulham is Chris Coleman. Now, Chris Coleman, when I first got into football properly, and I'm talking early 2000s, so I'm showing my age here, But when I first properly got into football, he was the manager of Fulham. So this is a return for him to this club. Now, he is away from home. But the wrinkle is, A, new manager. B, that's a strong midfield pairing of Iwobi and Reed. And they've also got Morgan Rogers, who, of course, in real life, he's doing very, very well at my team, at Aston Villa. But I don't know how good he was in Football Manager with the database update that I'd last employed on the game before I started this save. I did start this save a little while ago now. So I feel like he was doing quite well. So I'm a bit surprised to see him drop down to the Championship. But it is what it is. Now, the fear I've got is that it's a potential club legend for Fulham. I don't know quite how the fans perceive him, both in real life and in the game as well. But it's a potential club legend for him returning. So there's going to be the new manager bounce, or potential of a new manager bounce. But it might be like an Uber new manager bounce, possibly. I don't know. I mean, I could be just looking into things far too deeply on a video game. But I do feel like we could have some factors going against us, which means that this might be a more tricky game to navigate than the game against West Brom. It also could be a cakewalk because they're in 17th. Right, Phillips to Azaz. Azaz into Sims, who's got to be offside there. He's got to be offside. The flag is up, so I've got a feeling this is going to be disallowed. It is disallowed, in fact, and we do not have an opening goal. Fulham look pretty good so far. We've actually had more possession in the game so far. We've had equal chances. Momentum is starting to swing in our possession, which is good to see. I would quite like that to continue. Whether it will or not is another matter, of course, but I'd quite like it to continue. Right, McCallum to Busquets. Busquets back to the throw-in taker, whipping it in with his right foot into Sims, and that surely is not offside. No, it is not. Ellis Sims gets a goal, makes it 1-0 here at the Valley, and we lead against 17th placed Fulham. I can't imagine they're going to be 17th for long. I've got a feeling they're going to drop down, and hopefully this is enough to push us into the playoff places that we don't want, because we're not ready. We're not ready for anything like the Premier League. That's terrifying to think about. There was a check for offside here, apparently, though. Let's have a quick check. He's miles onside. Miles onside, referee. We don't need to be looking at that. Goodness me. Not at all. Right. As it stands, I think we are going to be not in the top 6 just yet. Sunderland need to stop doing well in their games, because at the moment they're stopping us from going up. All of those teams are messing with us. Some are not doing well, some are doing well, and that's just perpetually keeping us out. At the moment, Fulham would actually still be in 17th. They're reliant on Portsmouth winning their game for them to drop down, or rather, they're reliant on Portsmouth not winning their game for them to remain where they are. Half-time comes. It is only the 1 goal. I ain't greedy. I'll take it. I will take it. 2 of our summer signings combining there. McCallum to Sims. 1-0. I'm very happy with that. Now, I'm not going to go too crazy on the praise, because there are players who are not necessarily playing as well as they could be. We want to see some better performances from some of them out there. Doherty's not been doing particularly great in the heart of the midfield. He's asked for game time. He's not doing much to convince me he should be getting it at the moment. I'm just going to go around and pepper praise on those who deserve it, and try and motivate those who maybe can give us a little bit more. People like Piccolo, for example. McCallum, we'll just go with that one in the middle. And let's go again. No changes. We don't feel the need to. We're playing well enough. Let's just see what we can do. Right, Shahar's been hacked down by Iwobi there. This is going to be in Piccolo territory. I like Piccolo territory. It can sometimes have an exciting goal or two. He scored one from this corner here. It like, there we go. I wasn't even looking at the screen. He's gone and done it. There we go. I mean, that is exactly what Piccolo has been doing this season. I brought him in as a playmaker. I didn't realise I got the Championship David Beckham, who's French. I had no idea. Textbook free kick. I mean, that is exactly what you'd want from a free kick. Great position, round the wall, in the top corner. The one he scored the other day, bearing in mind he's the wrong foot for it, he just managed to blast it in that the near side top corner. It was great. And that one was just as impressive as well. And that doubles our lead, makes it 2, and we can relax a bit. Although we do know the 2-0 lead is the one to watch. You don't necessarily get comfortable with the 2-0 lead. You stop and you look and you think to yourself, well, what can I do to either consolidate this, or what can I do to improve this? I'm quite content for it to be okay. I'm quite content with everything being okay at the moment. But you know, anything can change. Right, I am going to take Doherty off. Not had a great game. I'm also going to take Shahar off. Not because he's done anything wrong, but because he's been playing himself into the ground for us. I don't want to break him. He's also on the yellow card. So we're going to take him off. And I'll bring Alex Mitchell on for some minutes. Callum Watts can have a bit of a break. And we'll go with that for now. And then we've got our final changes to come. Right. We're coming straight to a highlight. Piccolo going back to Doherty, into Shahar, into Azaz. Some nice little passing here. Piccolo into Busquets. Not seen much from him so far. Pass out wide to McCallum. McCallum whipping it in. Looking for the head of Ellie Sims. Can't quite find him though. And he will go out for a... Is it a corner or is it a throw? Well, we'll never know. I think it was a corner looking by the way that the flag was. But we'll never know. Makes me quite sad. I will take 2-0 at this point. Looking at the time, looking at how long we got left. The biggest thing I'd like from this game, I'm going to regret saying it because we all know what will happen once it comes out of my mouth, is I'd like a clean sheet. I'd like for us not to concede a goal here. It would be nice. We have conceded goals, although our defence isn't terrible. We saw on the screen at the beginning of the episode it's not been terrible. I would quite like... Oh, Phillips. It has games like this where he just does not turn up, and this is one of them, which is really frustrating. Our defence has not been doing badly, but a clean sheet, I think, just would make me very, very happy. So, if we could get that, I'd be delighted. Right, I'm going to take Sam McCallum off. He's had a really good game. I'm going to bring on Luke Ashburn. Yes, he's only 1.5 stars, but he's got potential. I want to get some minutes into him, and we're winning 2-0. Let's just bring him on, and let's just see how the kid does. That feels like the thing to do. Right, Seema goes back to the goalkeeper for Fulham, and now they build again from the back. It's our job to try and stop them from doing that, obviously. We are kind of hounding them relatively well. We're not pressing them too hard. We're giving them a bit of space to hopefully lull them into a full sense of security, and then we'll pounce. That's what I want us to do. I want us to just wait and then pounce. Not let them punt it over us and then have a shot. That's not ideally what I want from our defence, if I'm being completely upfront with you. But they didn't score. It's fine. It's fine. The clean sheet is still intact. They have a corner, but the clean sheet is still intact. Kind of cleared out back to the corner taker. He's going to drive into the box here, looking for options. He's probably going to go shoot. He does, and it's deflected, and the clean sheet is no more. What did I say? You don't say things like, I'd like a clean sheet, because you just know the second that you do, it's gone. So, 85 minutes gone, 2-1. Again, I'm quietly confident, but that does make it a little bit hairy for the last few minutes, but I think we've got enough in us just to see this over the line. I'm disappointed with the substitutes. They've not had a particularly good game, but it is what it is. And I think we've just about squeaked over the line here. We have indeed 2-1. Again, I feel like the easier game was actually the West Brom game, weirdly. But do you know what? Sometimes you just need to grind a result out and get over the line. And that's what we've done there. We're 1 point behind the teams in the playoff places. If we get a good result and Birmingham and Sunderland both stuff up, we leapfrog both of them and go into 5th. That'd be lovely if we can do that. Fulham, just a reminder, actually don't move at all. They're still in 17th. So we've started the episode exactly where we ended the episode. Not moved at all for us. None of the teams have. West Brom are still top. Fulham are still where they are. In fact, West Brom are not. They're the one team who've changed. They're now in 2nd because we kind of ruined it for them. Right, well, that's today's video. Now, we did come back a tiny bit earlier than we were going to. We were going to come back around here. I am going to come back for the beginning of January and we'll have a look at what we may or may not be able to do to the squads. We'll come back for this FA Cup game because that's always fun. And then maybe we do Millwall again. I know we did Millwall in the last episode, but Millwall at the Den on the telly. I mean, that's going to be funny, isn't it? I nearly made myself cough then, just from how hilarious that feels like it would be. We may do that. I might do Leeds. I don't know. We'll see how we feel, but we'll come back around that general area there. I'm pointing at this. I'm just checking my camera. Yes, you can see where my mouse is pointing. You can't see that that's Millwall, but you can see the Den. So hopefully you can... I could just scroll. I could... The wonders of technology. I could just scroll down, couldn't I? We're going to come back around here. I'm going to stop waffling, and I'm going to go away and get us to that point so we can hopefully beat Millwall again. That would be lovely. Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video today, then it would mean a heck of a lot if you'd leave a like on there for me. And also subscribe. And don't forget as well, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And let me know what you'd like to see from the channel in the future. I've been Stu. You guys have been awesome. And I will see you in the next one. Cheers.